just in case you can't see my Zeta t-shirt. Hey y'all, it's me, Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a recommendation video. I thought that it would be really fun to kind of switch it up. I haven't seen anyone on BookTube do this, but I decided to recommend books to my sorority sisters. If you didn't know, this semester I actually joined a sorority, Zeta Tau Alpha, which is, it's been a great experience. And since we're all in quarantine, I haven't been able to see my sisters in a hot minute, I figured it would be fun to ask them, since we're all kind of bored, let me recommend them books. So maybe books that they are wanting to read, genres they like, based off other books that they've read, so they can get a little bit. So I made a Google form and I put it in our giant group chat that we have with all of our members, and I think I got 5 responses, so I'm going to recommend this and I'm excited about this. So I'm going to start off with Sydney, my big. Love it. I freaking love Sydney. Sydney is amazing. She actually gave me this. What is this? Canvas. Wow. This canvas. By the way, I had categories. I put like, what type of book are you into, books that you've liked in the past, etc. So she said that she really likes YA magical and supernatural stuff, and books that she's liked in the past are The Infernal Devices, Harry Potter, Night Circus, and cutesy YA stuff like Aristotle and Dante. So I wanted to recommend Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is such a cute, fun middle grade series. I know it's middle grade, but I freaking enjoyed it, and so many people I know have enjoyed this book. So this follows our main character, Morgan, and she's born on the unluckiest day of the year. And pretty much when you're born on this day, you're pretty much treated as an outcast in the city. Every little bad thing that happens is blamed on her. Her parents pretty much hate her, and she's kind of miserable. And there's this curse thing that, like, on your 11th, I think it's your 11th birthday, you die. You die on your 11th birthday. But before that happens, this beautiful man, Jupiter, sweeps her up and takes her to the world city of Nevermore, and she basically is trying to join the Wanderer Society, which is kind of just like an elite society in Nevermore that pretty much not exactly run things, but they pretty much run things in the city. Everyone has different special talents, and it's such a fun ride. I've read the first 2 books in the series. I think the 3rd book is supposed to be coming out, I want to say like next month, but it might have been pushed back because of everything going on, so I'd have to check. But it's really good. If you want to listen to an audiobook, it's a good one as well, but it's just good all around. So next person I'm recommending to is actually like one of my twins. So basically it's like big, and then your big has like multiple littles, or could have multiple littles or one little. So basically she's my big's little, so we're like twins, you know, whatever. Hannah Folks. I love Hannah. She's great. I still haven't spent as much time as I'd like with her because, again, I only started this semester, but I love Hannah. We're always like talking. It's great. Hannah said Hannah was difficult to recommend, but you know, I was trying. She said, I really don't have a specific type. I think it's like my music taste where I enjoy lots of genres. And she said for the books she's read in the past, she says, I feel like I haven't read anything in so long. Please don't hate me. The last book I read was Twilight if the gender roles were reversed. Okay, thanks. So I actually got 2 books. One is a manga, and in case you don't want a manga, I have an actual book to read. And I pretty much recommend this based on Hannah's personality and like things I've seen her like in the past, either like movies and music. So I don't know. I think you will like these. The manga I have to recommend is The Ancient Magus Bride by It's by Koro Yamazaki. Now, even if you just want to watch the anime, if you don't want to even read the manga, it's still great. It's so interesting and cool. So pretty much you follow this one girl named Chise. She's an orphan, but she always constantly sees these visions, either in her dreams when she's just walking around. She just has these visions of things that are going to happen. So she gets sold into slavery, pretty much. This already sounds kind of dark, but it's fine. She gets sold into slavery. Usually it's more of like a sex trafficking kind of thing. She is rescued by this guy who has a giant skeleton face, and she starts learning everything about witchcraft and magic, and it's really interesting. I've only read the first volume, but that first volume just hit different. And I think that you'll really like it. I think, let me see how many are in this series. So at the moment there are 12 in English. There's 13, but I don't know if the 13th volume has come out in English yet. But there's definitely 12. So if you just want to like binge read this series, this is the perfect time, you know? Now if you don't want manga, I do also... No, I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Now if you don't want a manga, I will be recommending you An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is a standalone YA fantasy that is all about fairies and the fae. So I don't know, I feel like you would really like that. Pretty much follow Isabelle. Isabelle is a painter, that's her trade. And kind of in this world, humans are the only ones that can do like trade and craftsman type things, while the fae can't do it or they'll die, pretty much. So she pretty much does paintings and she'll sell them off. But she's very wary. She really does not like the fae because she mainly specializes in portraits. But one day Rook, the Autumn Prince, comes to her to get his painting commissioned. And as she's painting him, she actually sees sorrow in his eyes. And what's really unique about the fae is that they really don't show many emotions, at least human emotions. So when she paints human emotion in his eyes and it gets sent back to the fairy, like to the autumn court, everyone is shook because it's like, why is there emotion in his eyes? And Rook is furious, goes back to Isabelle and was like, you need to come fix this because, or I'm like, no. And there's a little romance. It was fun. It was really fun. It's really easy to get into and it's really easy to, the writing style is very digestible. So if you're having, like you said, you're having trouble reading, this was a really good one to help you get through that. So yeah. Alright, next person I am recommending is Maddie P. I love Maddie P. Again, she's great. She is kind of our, I don't remember her exact title, but she's pretty much been running our Instagram, and every day in April she has been posting different amazing things on our Instagram, trying to get everyone engaged. And really, even though I've only done like 3 days in the Instagram challenges, I really enjoy what you're doing, Maddie. Keep going. I love you. But Maddie said on her thing that she loves YA fiction, but also coming of age stories and murder mysteries. And books she's liked in the past are Girls by Emma Cline, Gone Girl and Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, Big Little Lies, The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Killsalver, and Wuthering Heights. So, I hope, so I'm kind of going in the more YA fiction, but with the coming of age. I didn't really go in the murder mystery with this recommendation, but I'm going to be recommending The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I read this at the end of last year and I really enjoyed it. So you follow these 3 girls in Portland. There's Grace. She just moved to Portland from another school because her mom is a preacher, but she's more of the preacher, she's more of the kind of preacher who is very accepting everyone, and in their very conservative town there was a no-go, so they were pretty much shunned. And so she's brand new into the school. We also follow Rosina. She is a queer Latinx girl. She works at her parents' restaurant, who she doesn't like working there. She wants to really become a musician, but she knows that that's not the path that her family wants her to take. And we follow Erin. Erin is autistic and she really loves marine biology and Star Trek, and those are the things that just kind of pretty much bring her joy, and that's what she focuses on. So we follow these 3 girls, and they start up this group called the Nowhere Girls after a sexual assault happens on at their high school, and pretty much she gets shunned by the rest of the student body. The men in the school are very misogynistic, and pretty much they create this group in order to fight back the men in a kind of way. And it was really good. It's a good coming of age story. You really get to feel for all 3 of the characters that you're following, and I really love the dialogue that it was going with. It's also really easy and digestible to get into. I will say trigger warnings for sexual assault and rape. It's fantastic, and I think you'll really like it. Next person we have is Hannah Light. So Hannah Light is our president at the moment. She is great. She started a pen pal program, which in our group, to help get everyone to like communicate more and get a little out of our self-isolation quarantine mood. And I'm really thankful for that, and she's such a great person. I love her. So Hannah said she really likes adventure, mystery, science, supernatural, and romance. And books she's liked in the past are Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Hunger Games, Twilight, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, just to name a few. So a book that I thought that Hannah will really like, Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. This is an adult fantasy novella, so it's only like 170 pages, and I believe there's 5 books in the series, so you can binge read the whole series if you'd like. So pretty much just this home for wayward children, and pretty much it's pretty much for children who've been to different worlds and have come back. So think of like Alice in Wonderland, how she goes to a different portal and comes back. That's pretty much what these kids have been through. And we follow our main character Nancy, and she went to this world which is kind of weird. It's kind of this world where there's like, I'm not exactly, it's like devil or Satan or some kind of like god of death. She was in this world where she had to stand completely still, be completely silent, and she kind of quite enjoyed it, but she was told to leave, and that they will summon her back at some point. And so she goes to the school for wayward children, and she meets other people there as well. I believe she comes out in this book as asexual, which is always really cool. And there is a mystery, a murder mystery. One of the children who goes to this, or who is at this home, dies or is killed, and the kids are trying to find out who killed them. And it's really interesting. I didn't really like the second book, but I know a lot of people who did, so I think that Hannah, you're gonna really like this one. Last but not least, we have Emmy. Emmy is, oh wow, I messed up my tripod. Now Emmy is such an amazing person. She's so nice and sweet, and I want to get to know you more. So if you want to hit me up, let me know. But pretty much what Emmy said was she really likes mystery, horror, and fantasy, and books that she's liked in the past are the Mortal Instruments and the Merciless series. So with that information, I want to recommend Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz. If you want a more like in-depth discussion of it, I have a video, a dedicated review up on my channel. But pretty much what this book is about is that it follows our main character Carolee, and in this world there are 4 kingdoms inside this big kingdom, pretty much, or I would say 4 provinces inside this kingdom, and each province has its own queen, and the 4 queens pretty much rule together in order to keep the kingdom sane. But the queens are starting to get killed off one after another, and so Carolee is pretty much tasked on accident. She kind of ropes herself into it in order to figure out who is killing off the queens and how she can stop it. So it really brings in that mystery element with the fantasy element, which I think you'll really like. It's such a good book. I feel like it's a good gateway if you want to read more fantasy, a good gateway if you want to read more mystery. There's a little hint of romance. It's not super big, or it's not definitely in the main plot line, but there's a lot of good talks and about it. I really like our 4 queens in it, and I think it's just like a really good fun book. So I think you'll really enjoy that one. But yeah, that's all my recommendations. If you want to see me do more dedicated recommendation video on like recommending books to certain people or about certain things, I would love to do that because this was fun. I really like doing this. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I will see you in another video. Peace.